70 years old, so now I get free Gibsons.
Well, look here. Happy birthday.
Not really, but
Sagittarius. Rick Nielsen, happy birthday to you.
is it December 22nd?
That's Sagittarius, yeah?
I don't know.
Well, I'm a Sagittarius too. That's another thing we have in common. But
Really, when's your birthday?
December 3rd.
And that's my mother's birthday.
Is it really?
You don't look like my mother.
No. But you know what? I do have this coconut thing about me, so
Coconut.
yeah. It's a little wild. But anyway, so Rick, in your years of playing and everything, what inspired you to actually pick up the guitar for the first time?
Well, I'm a songwriter, but I love guitars. Everybody in this room plays better than me. Twice as good as me, probably. But I'm a songwriter, but I love guitars. I started collecting in about 1964. In 1965, I bought my first Gibson Les Paul. It was a 1955 Les Paul. I paid $65 for it. 65. It was a gold top, and I still have it today.
So that's
my first one.
That's your first one, but that said,
Now I have 85 Gibson Les Pauls.
the vault is real, y'all. The vault is real. This legendary vault, your collection.
Vault?
Right.
That sounds like one vault.
Vaults.
I bought the very first Gibson prototype safe they had, and which opened the hinge on the left side. And I said, to keep my insurance rates down, I said I needed another one for most expensive stuff. And I didn't want them both to have the hinges on the same side. They said, we can't do that. I said, well, then I'm going to have to get one of your safes and turn it upside down, so the safe's open like this. And so they made me, so I got the very last Gibson safe, too.
Wow. So
I laid on the floor and pounded my fist until that went do it.
so how many guitars now?
I own about 500.
Hey, y'all.
But they're not all great.
Well, 500, you know what we say, there's always room for one more.
Oh, yeah. What do you think I'm doing here?
Yeah, right.
I'll take that row. It's like a Chinese restaurant. I'll take A.
Oh, no, yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, a belated birthday gift, obviously. You know?
Thank you.
Right? Absolutely. Hey, custom shop, let's make that happen. Can we make that happen? Let's make it happen today. So, you know what? You're renowned for your pick throwing.
Well, I know that guy. He owes me money.
I mean, I was going to say, so what are some tips, pro tips from the world-renowned...
Don't do what I do and don't look like him.
So, in your collection, your Howell collection, if you had to choose 5 of your top Gibsons, which ones are going to be?
I'm going to have to cheat on you. I'm going to get a guild in there, too.
Okay, you get a guild.
1963 Guild Merle Travis. They only made 3 of them. They were $2,000 in 1963. You could buy a Ford Mustang or a Volkswagen for that. And if you had the money, if you had $2,000 in 1963, you'd put your own name on it. You wouldn't put Merle Travis on it. But I got the second one ever made.
All right. So that's...
Want to buy it?
That's...
Take it me a second.
All of a sudden, this has turned into Craigslist. So we have 5 guitars. So that's
okay, fine. I have a couple of original Explorers 58s. Those are pretty rare too, and I'm with the original cases. And I have a 58 Flying V, 59 Flying V was owned by Lonnie Mack, and my gold top, and I can't pick. It's either 1, none, or 500.
You see, that's what I'm going to say, because it's like choosing among your children, right?
Oh, you can have all of them.
So, one of the ones, I met you initially about 8 years ago.
So you've been doing this shtick for only 8 years?
Oh, I've been doing it for a long time, but for when we met at the custom shop and we talked about your guitar collection and we talked about your burst that you play on, I want you to want me.
Is that you? Oh, great!
Yeah, right. Not too bad, but tell us a little bit about that guitar and its history, because you had me hold the guitar, and it was like the holy grail of guitars,
Yeah, for a guy that can't play guitar like me, I needed all the help I could get. It's like the guitars really do make a difference. I mean, and when parents used to buy their kids these $39 guitars, once in a while those 39 guitars are great. But most of the time they're pretty crummy. So when you get one that feels good in your hands, and it's not for everybody. We've toured with everybody. I played with Alice Cooper, I played with Def Leppard, Journey, and everybody around that has guitars, and they always have these guitars that are impossible to play. And it's like, I need all the help I can get.
Well, I tell you, you know, your style. I love
My style.
I love Rick's playing. Who here out there loves his style?
Security.
Well, it's not just about his playing style, but also his fashion style. So where did that develop? Yeah, there you go. Look at that. I mean, give it up for the jacket.
Do you know what people say behind my back? What an ass.
Well, how about that? So
The shoes.
Yeah, exactly. The shoes too.
Was he my underwear?
So where does that come from?
I never wanted to be anybody else. And I don't have a package like Jimmy Page or Keith Richards. And I didn't want to put a cucumber down my pants. And I was never going to look like those guys. I never want, I idolize them, but I don't want to be any of them. I don't think I want to be me either, but it's a little too late for that.
Well, so how does it feel when younger artists look at Cheap Trick and look at you just as not just an excellent guitar player but great personality, having this unique style, and they try to emulate you?
I don't think they've seen anybody as old as Abraham Lincoln. It's a joke.
Right? Yeah, you can applause. Go ahead.
No,
give
you
it up. Yeah, you can't laugh. But okay,
You can.
So getting back to it. All right. The singer, songwriter, you. Obviously, the songs are iconic. The riffs are great. You're iconic. But where does this inspiration for these great tunes that have stood the test of time come from?
Half reality and half National Enquirer.
Is that right? So you go down and get your tabloid?
When you're starting out 15 or 16, you really don't have any sort of life anyhow. And so you have to make up stuff. So I had to make up stuff my whole life. I never planned on being this good looking.
Well, so that said, you're writing these riffs, you're writing these iconic songs.
I've got 350 songs that you never heard.
Well, and so the vault
Just a couple I struck gold with.
Well, so the vault of material that you're coming up with, is there any chance that us fans are going to be able to experience all of those songs that you have yet to release, because your library is prolific?
I mean,
who wants to hear his songs? I mean, look right there, a national treasure.
I had dinner with him.
Right?
I did.
Right?
I mean, bought too.
The music. You put it down on tape, you record it digitally, you have your phone out, whatever it is. Surely there's got to be, a record of all of that stuff that...
Yeah, I do. I have 4 warehouses full of that stuff. And if I live to be a million, I'll still have stuff to do.
Well,
I'm never bored, but I took all the mirrors out. I took all the mirrors out of my house because if you've ever seen a 70-year-old man naked, you don't want to.
How about some water? Would you like some?
That'll help me look good.
Oh yeah, hydrate a little bit. It's all good. Take care of you. So, being
I don't wear a catheter either. So.
No, well, that's good to know, because we'll have to get a mop or something. But
you said you're going to emulate me. I don't wear a catheter. You got to take yours off.
I got to get. We'll do that backstage later. But so let's go back to your guitars, your guitar collection.
What, are you trying to heist my stuff?
I am. I'm gonna, you're not looking. I'm gonna go back there and take it. But with your guitar collection, how does one take care of a collection that large?
Well, I wore my shirt. It was my best guitar tech. Larry, he died last year on the road. And I was like, I haven't tuned a guitar in 40 years. I don't know what the hell to do anyhow.
Well, I also met Larry, and once again, just amazing. Yeah, you see.
And it gets clean up on water, old man.
Clean up on aisle 12. But I mean, what a great guy. I mean, he's your right-hand man.
Well, no longer.
Yeah.
But he used to work with George Benson. And he said, "Here you go, George." And an hour later, "I'll see you in an hour." And he come back and a guitar, and then he started working for me. And about killed him. Wait a minute, it did kill him. But he was a great guy. He fixed a lot of my amps, built guitars for me. Miss him. Now I got Rocky back with me. Rocky was the guy that introduced me to. And Rocky's worked with Jeff Beck. And I couldn't even...
Well, Yeah, well, we'll give them props because, you know, just meeting those guys were just tremendous salt to the guys.
They do all the work. I just get all the people that look like you.
Hey, man, you know, I'm trying. So the guitar collection, just going back to it, in your iconic guitar collection, if you're really like trying to say something to all these aspiring guitar players and guitar players out there, what are some of the pro tips to collecting guitars? What are some of the things you're looking for in terms of guitar collecting?
Buy low, sell high. No, you gotta get stuff that you like. I mean, if you buy artwork, you can buy guitars, you gotta get stuff you like. And I bought guitars that I paid $65 for, and they're $20,000 or $30,000 supposedly. But I never bought them like that. And I bought guitars I paid $200 for, and now they're worth $100. I think I'm about equal to that. But you gotta get stuff you like. I bought some artwork. You know, if it doesn't, if you think you're trying to do it as an investment, you're probably pretty lame. Like betting on the stock market lately.
What's it like?
Oh, and plus about collecting. Make sure you get insurance, but have a high deductible.
Get it.
It's true. I have my guitars insured for $5,000 up. Because if somebody steals something that's worth $4,999, you're paying the replacement cost. I'd never pay that kind of money for this stuff anyway. Plus, when I die, my wife will sell all my guitars for $1 each. So stick around.
I tell you what we can do is, if you feel comfortable with this, we'll ask a few more questions. But if you have a question for Rick, please come
I'm
forward.
uncomfortable with your questions.
If you have a question for Rick, and you just come up to the front, and we'll have you ask a question or two to this legend here.
Hey.
So, do you have a question for Rick? All right, go for it.
There's a guy that owns one of my guitars. Get him!
How about that? Okay, so this gentleman right here's got a question for you.
Rick, when you worked with John Lennon, did you
Oh, baby. Sorry. Again. What?
Go ahead.
Rick, when you worked with John Lennon, did you ask him for an autograph, or was that?
No, I didn't. I didn't ask him for an autograph. We hung out together. We were going to go guitar shopping, and as I called him John, and I didn't call him. Bunny called him Mr. Lennon. I called him John, and I was going to take him guitar shopping because I get to the studio and he had the Rickenbacker with the Shea Stadium set list on tape to his Rickenbacker, and he also had a Valeno guitar with rusty strings on it. I said, Mark Bolan plays one of those, and so does Mark Farner. I said, you're John Lennon, you don't need that stuff. I said, everybody must tell you yes, John, like they do Steven Tyler and Vivian Campbell. You know, yes, John, yes. I said, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you, let's go get a guitar together. So and I left him one of my guitars. I left him my Telecaster with a string bender on it because he'd never seen one of those. And I got it 3 years later after his murder from Yoko. And actually Yoko was nice to me. Have you ever heard that?
You have another question for Rick? This is the gentleman right here in the front. What's your name? Where you're from?
My name's Ed. I'm from Santa Margarita. Hey, how you doing?
Ted Nugent? What?
No.
Hey, Vivian Campbell.
Not even close. Listen, what kind of advice would you give to up-and-coming guitar players? Because in our day, what we did is we took the record player and we played that thing over and over again.
What's a record player?
Yeah, exactly. Now they have YouTube where they get taught note for note.
I don't know. I still can't read music. I can sort of, but I did the same thing. I used to listen to records, and it's like, man, now that I know how the Rolling Stones song goes like this, and then 40 years later I watch it on YouTube. I've been playing it wrong for 45 years. Don't go by what I know.
Right on. You have another question for Rick? This gentleman right here?
No, do they ever answer any of these questions?
Oh, no, you're doing great.
Just looking at all these good-looking people here. I mean, good-looking guitars.
What's your name and where you're from, buddy?
Hello, I'm Eric Johnson, not that Eric Johnson.
Hey, Eric.
From Boise, Idaho. My next door neighbor is Noble Holt, who you met a few weeks ago at the guitar seminar. And I saw you in Boise a few weeks ago. I have to wonder, how many guitar picks do you go through in a show?
None of your business. I don't know. I order 60,000 at a time. and I have to wear it a couple times a year. So it's like, you know, for the first 5 years of my career, everybody thought my name was Fender.
Another question for Rick.
How's it going, Rick?
What's your name and where you from, buddy?
My name's Adam. I'm from Corona, California.
All right.
So
I used to drink Corona.
my question is,
I quit drinking 18 years ago. God, am I thirsty.
well, my question is, after like that whole thing that happened in Canada like a few years ago,
Thanks a lot, you Canadians. But trying to kill us.
do you still bring out the original like Explorer checkerboard, or do you have a copy?
What do you think, I'm new? I'm not like some of those bands that they saw the guitars halfway and then still can't break them. Yeah, I can bring out stuff. And because I like this stuff, you know. We have 2 sets of gear. We have 30 in the A rig and 30 in the B rig. So we have semi on the West Coast, semi on the East Coast. We can play back to back because we're too dumb to turn down shows. You know? So like this week, Friday, I leave here and take the red eye to Miami to play there. Last week we were in Chicago, Detroit, Windsor, back to Detroit, to Buffalo, to Niagara Falls, there's a Niagara Falls I wanted, and back there, then we flew to Washington D.C., then flew down to New Orleans, and we played for the opening of the playoff game for 40,000 people. And they thought Kool and the Gang was coming there.
We have time for one more question for the legendary Rick Nielsen. Sir, this gentleman right here, who are you, where are you from?
Come on.
Vivian.
You know who plays a Gibson Rick Nielsen model? Hey, wait a minute, Hitler rally.
Okay, go ahead, ask a question.
Hey Rick, my name is Steve, and I currently live in Utah, and I grew up and cut my teeth listening to you play back in the 70s. And my big question is, who are some of your early influences that really
Chuck
got
Berry,
you?
Bo Diddley, Del Shannon, Frank Cannon, the Shirelles, Dwayne Eddy. Dwayne Eddy sent me an autograph.
Because when I hear you playing, I hear some really amazing blues being played in your guitar riffs, and it just...
I steal them all. I still, if you know any of our songs, there's a song called Top of the World, I stole that from Peter Gunn.
Do us a favor, Rick. Don't stop doing what you're doing, buddy. You do a great job.
I'm too dumb to
You
quit.
are. You just keep doing what you're doing, man. We love you.
We got
Vivian.
Vivian Campbell. Come on, baby. Yeah, get your ass up here. We've been playing with Def Leppard for years, and he was such a nut. He bought a Rick Nielsen model. I guess he had to refret it though.
I tell you what, this is going to be an epic photo op, so get your cameras ready. Ladies and gentlemen, Vivian Campbell.